And the red buff being applied, one more audacious charge, a stun over the wall from Jun actually keeps his mid laner alive and sacrifices himself to give first blood to Xiaohu.
I mean, you saved your Ahri, right? She's going to be able to get recall and TP back. Not the greatest to be able to lose.
Definitely here, I mean, coming out on the worst end of trades, and Jun still looking to make something happen here as he passes up into that top side ward from Arla, gives vision over, Q goes wide, that empowered Pantheon spell now completely wasted it. A flash out from Breathe, Arla flashes to follow, comes on through, Arla about 1 HP, may just be able to kite it on out here. Breathe doing the best he can with potions and grasp, and they still do it, but Arla dashes back in, slices one, dices two, and the kill's picked up.
That's the sneaky
Shift as we move later on into the matchup. A pretty volatile early game, it must be said. Jun certainly making things happen across the rift for better or for worse. Bot lane has been, by all standards, a little bit quieter than the rest of the map, but Cleanse has been burned by Light down here. He's gone back to base, picked himself up a tier and a cull. So expectation really from those two items are that we are going to see these bot lanes continue, or at least for Weibo's side, to not really look to be active in the game.
And my guess is that we'll kind of ignore the dragon a bit and then focus a lot more on the grubs, especially considering Renekton got first blood. He is level 6 for the first grubs, and that just goes over it, right? It's a level 1 Renekton. There's not a lot of answer there at this particular point in time for JDG comp, so it might be a trade grubs for dragon that JDG might be looking for, or that JDG might be looking up to set up vision to kind of detect before the grub spawn here.
Yeah, and I think that if they can give the Renekton just a little bit of control, that is going to go a very long way for them, as Chen has gone the entirety of this bot side, walking around and managed to make it into the tri-brush before immediately hopping over to the dragon. And talked about the fact that this could be a trade setup, but Weibo decided that they want to go for this pretty early on. Level 6 just dinged in the mid lane for Scout, and we're setting up here with the TP coming down as well. This is just going to be Pays returning to the fight. A serrated Dirk in the inventory. It's going to be a flip, going to be a 50-50 Scout on the top side here. Missing goes in, double pulverized, stolen away is the dragon, and Jun picks that up, no doubt. Missing goes down, and Weibo are running this fight to begin with. Finally, Scout comes in, looking to dish damage out. Tian falls, Light low on the backside. A stun comes through to stop that piercing arrow. Pace still wailing away here. It's the bot lane for Weibo that are going to go down. Erha just barely able to dish out one final concussive blow before he falls, and it's JDG who get the dragon, get the fights, and find themselves the advantage.
Sometimes in LPL you just kind of have to ask the question.
The majority of that actually coming from the top side. In fairness, they're AD carry as well. But still slight concerns around the strength of Xiaohu if you are Weibo here, rather that they've got a pretty strong rise, and as much as Scout managed to pick up 4 assists there, I think a couple of kills may have offset the weakness that he is facing in that 1v1 matchup in particular. Nice to see that Weibo have learned from their mistakes and have not contested another early objective with a comp that is just objectively weak. But they've given up those first 3 grubs, and it gives JDG a good chance here as they move into what could be an advantageous spot in this game to maybe start trying to take some of those plates, start pushing that lead a little bit quicker.
And we talked about this in the pre-show, but if you want 3 kills to go on to someone, that's JDG. It's Pays, right?
Yeah.
Building into that lethality bar very comfortably. Oh, yeah.
Charmed up. A quick spirit rush out to safety. Nothing too untoward, but that does make him a little more susceptible to going down in the next minute and a half.
All he does is have to catch this wave, right? As we contest for the mid wave, Scout just has to get
2023 almost golden road run.
And looks like both teams kind of posturing around the first straight here. I think fights should still favor JDG overall, but you have Scouts on top side, so you have to TP in if you want to contest this.
Yeah, Weibo, they're first to the Drake there, looking to take it. This time secured, but missing. Charging forward, attempting to get out to safety. The roll walk from Xiao, who just gets his support and his jungler out to safety. Right now, double TP's expended by Weibo to send Breathe back up to the top side, but with a Drake take, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, Weibo, I think, learned their lesson. They want to avoid the fight. They used the realm warp to manage to get out of there, and JDG thinking, okay, we missed the dragon. If we can get kills, if we can kill them, then it's good for us, but Weibo evaded that, so but JDG will have to try a little bit harder to keep the momentum going before they get faced with this Yorick and this Rise in the side lane.
And a little bit, maybe just a bit delayed by Scout here, as they couldn't really take the fight, but now they're looking to dive down on the ball side. 4 versus 2. Chain of Corruption linking up with a headbutt pull fry from Missing. and everybody from JDG lives. No harm, no foul, plates as well. Scout gets on the board.
And we were saying, you know, they wanted the fight. That's all they wanted, right? And maybe they took it a little bit late, but they found it anyway, getting those 2 kills and 2K gold, 13 minutes. It's not the worst. It's definitely they need to be ahead with this composition to make it worth it for them.
And as well, you look range and maybe they'll lose out on their own blue buff, losing out on turret plates down on the spot side, and maybe Al is actually just going to take the whole turret to himself. So bot lane tier 1 falls, a little bit of gold into the Renekton's back pocket, a stolen away blue buff, and again these dominoes beginning to fall, but WBG starting their own little assault into the jungle here.
I mean, importantly,
Does get rooted up, does get knocked up, does get stunned, and does go down. Finally WBG with a little bit of a bounce back.
yeah, but importantly, I think because you have Rift Herald coming up, and because you got the wave all the way in on the bot side for the Renekton, JDG don't even lose tempo or control for that. They can just kind of rotate and set up for this Rift Herald, make their own play, and it shouldn't be too scary.
Looking now for an engage. Charm lands, headbutt lands, pulverize as well, breathe. Looking to maybe just out-sustain JDG here. Scout waiting for his next set of spells to come up, and now got to thread some spells through those little ghouls. Manages to do so, Charm comes through, missing, gets grass procced on, and Breathe walks it out!
Okay, I think Scout thought probably...
Shot takes him a little bit lower. Armor's still bot side as well with teleport, so gonna look for a pretty big flank here. WBG do secure the Rift Herald, but again the question remains, can they get out to safety? Here comes the Grand Starfall as Xiao, who gets knocked up, locked up, taken down. Light running for the high hills as Ala turns back for the Auric, who finally forces the flash, but this time round not going to be able to get out so easily. Scout takes down Light, Breathe the next one to fall underneath this tier 1 turret, and JDG are running amok in WBG's jungle.
Oh, absolutely. I think even though Breathe had the Hexgates, right, this is a fight that should still be in JDG's favor. We're starting to get a bit stronger on WBG. We saw Breathe almost able to 1v2 on the top side. So you see hints of that eventuality, but we're still stronger on JDG for sure. And as long as we're able to go deep with Shun, like we talked about before with the Grand Starfall, as long as we're able to get the TP flank with the jungle not immaculately cleaned by WBG, then we're still...
Need to be on that mid lane.
No one saw it. Anyway, Renekton, the other thing to note is, we talked about the importance of, I'm falling down a little bit in the side lane. We talked about the importance of the side lanes for WBG, but if you see bot lane,
Lead for Ala in particular is doing a lot of work for JDG and how they are maneuvering around the map. I think that picking up Mercs for Breathe is going to be a pretty big boost as well, right? Just being able to reduce the CC duration from that Ruthless Predator, but JDG not really looking to give too much time over to WBG. Reminder that they are the team that we've set her on the clock here in this game, that the scaling for WBG is pretty good, and missing, not giving them that time to scale. Realm Warp 4TN has been prepped, and he's able to get out between the Crescent Guard and the Rise ulti, so another attempted fight on that top side for JDG. They get the turret. Yeah, getting creative with those angles is going to be pretty important for Xiaohu, for Tian, and maybe a little bit less so for Breathe. There's a Yorick flank to put a cage down, maybe going to be pretty big, but not one of the ones that we typically tout with infamous success. True. To throw the goals on him. Zoning, you know. Either way, for WBG, I mean, there's a very real world where in 2 minutes' time that they have found all the items that they need, and I think that importantly, the 2 items on Ezreal, 2 items on the Rise, they're not weak at this stage, but again, JDG not giving them that chance. They have turned up to this Atacon, they've already started hitting it, and Tien takes a decent chunk on his way in from Scout, and maybe for WBG that's good enough just to say, actually, we're done, that's it.
I mean, WBG finally learned to say no to the fight. It only took them 20 minutes, it's fine. I don't know if they're trying to take Scout down, I think they're just trying to get a turret. It's kind of what Yorick wants to do, right? They're willing to give up the dragon for that, so at least the tier 2, but they're splitting the gold between the Rise and the Yorick. I think they're just trying to get the solo lanes farmed a little bit
of gold. Yeah, going on to both of those carries, I mean, it makes sense. They weren't going to look to contest that dragon anyway. They get a little bit of gold. It's again stronger for WBG, and Xiao, who fortunately just spotted missing as he rounded that corner. So he does get away from the 3-man collapse, and it's a little bit of time now over to WBG to push in a mid-wave, start to clear out a little bit of the vision established in the river. 25 minutes has been hit, and now they're looking to collapse a little bit more aggressively. Eha doesn't get taken for the ride. Light's now chucked into the middle of everybody. Hayes flashed on, but he gets out to safety as well. Zhao who locked up, charmed up, but still alive. As Light still chunking damage, throwing it down, and Weibo actually coming out on top. They make the play, they get aggressive, and they come out on top. An Unbreakable from Air saves him from the damage from Scout. And a quick 2-0 on the top side. Weibo Gaming come alive.
And they find that small window where Renekton doesn't have the bot wave pushed all the way in so that they can move their numbers without losing out on one of those waves. They managed to highlight, yes, okay, we have the Spear Surgeon plus Trinity Force on Yorick. We have 3 items on Rise. We're going to start to win these fights. We're going to start to win these trades, and they demonstrated it with their quick decision making in that particular play.
The question then becomes, have JDG done enough at this stage? We talked about the fact that their composition is going to get progressively... Lands the wind becomes lightning, doesn't want to take the aggressive push on it, as Ala's getting a little bit of a fight on to Breathe here. Help from June as they take down the Yorick without any problems. Scout in the mid lane, forced to use Spirit Rush to get out to safety, and missing it's going to be traded by JDG. So a 1-for-1 support for top laner here. Winning trade so far for JDG. Circulating, but don't think we're going to find anything else.
Winning trade for JDG, but also it depends on what they can get out of it. Because if it's just 1-for-1, I mean, ultimately, Missing and Breathe are worth the same amount of gold, right? So if you can't get anything out of the trade in the next, before Yorick spawns again, then it's relatively an even trade. There's not even map control to be had here. So.
Exactly. You might argue, well, Ala's got a little bit of time to go and farm away, but what he's done with his time is walked around, recalled, and now he's walking back out to that top side about the same time that Breathe respawns. So literally a 1-for-1 and nothing particularly gained. We look once again at some of the summoner spells maybe as an advantage. Breathe forced to use Flash, still went down. Missing used the summoner heal, so won't have that to keep himself alive. But once again, posturing, 30 seconds on this dragon. Soul if JDG get it, and Weibo here looking to establish a little bit of control to start off with.
Yep, and Hayes still with no flash, so very few flashes in fact, but yeah,
Light walking on a pink ward, but they pick up Ala first. He flashes out with the Dominus active and Air gets charmed and taken out. Unbreakable does not give him anything. Now Xiaohu, no flash, charmed, head up into a wall. Hayes knocked back, but that's not going to do enough. Unbreakable keeps him alive, and Xiaohu's golden, but he still goes down. Breathe not a part of this. Ala able to TP back in. 2-for-0. JDG will take the soul.
And that was a really interesting fight to watch, because we see Tian actually come in initiating that, but separated around that bit of terrain there. Easy for JDG to pick off one target and then keep pushing from there and split the rest of the fight. So really good understanding of both the terrain and how their team wants to play. So even though we are putting up gold, we get the pick off. It's kind of like whoever fights first, right?
Okay, we're getting flamed for no reason, as Tian is also going to get flamed by his jungle, heading into the red buff taken down by JDG. And now with the Hextech Soul, Scout goes in, attempting to predict Charm out as Light, locked up, 2-for-0, 3-for-0, make it more, and JDG with that Soul are just not stopping.
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the average age of
So was I was stuck there as well.
Anyway, JDG actually have an opportunity where they can end here. It's like 34 minutes, or 34 seconds before Ezreal's back.
Eyes on Xiao, who here has got to try and clear those waves. He gets immediately headbutt pulled and taken to the grave. Breathe will do what he can, but there is nothing this Undertaker can do to take down JDG. And game number 1 is picked up by your 3rd seed. A little bit of KDA padding, some stat farming to be done in the base as well. Tian not going to go down, but game 1 picked up, and JDG looking good doing it.